Cool. All right, good evening. No, it's evening for everyone. My name is Robin, certified nutrition specialist, and we're going to talk about the truth about omegas and some of the common mistakes that people make when it comes to omegas. Also, because it is February is American Heart Month, and February is also Black History Month, which whenever it's Black History Month, I take that time to talk about Black health. So I'm going to talk about the heart, omegas, and then we're going to relate that to Black health. Can you all see me on the screen? Because who I see is Adrian's A. So you do see me? Okay, that's not who I see, but I believe that if y'all see me, guys, okay. So with that being said, I want to just jump in and talk about what omegas are, and because some people are like omegas, like what they people hear about omega threes, and there's a spectrum of omegas. The focus is always on omega threes, but in general, I want to share with you what they do and why, so that you can understand this. So our cells need love and support, right? So it's also Valentine's month if you'll do that. So our cells need love and support all the time. And in the food groups and the nutrients, that's where that's where our cells get the love and support. So with omegas, it's oil, and the cell membrane needs that oil in order to function and behave. So in order for your cells internally to do what you want it to do externally and internally, we need to give it certain nutrients. And omegas being one of those nutrients. And again, the oil helps the cell membrane. It's like lubrication for your cells. So think about your car. You wouldn't drive your car, or you should not drive your car without oil in the engine. It's the same with the omegas. Having not enough in your body can create chaos in your body. And it's simple to get, and it's also simple not to get. Let me just say this first: where you can find omegas food wise, you can find them in flax, chia seeds, fatty fish such as salmon, mackerel, walnuts. Now, when it comes to the fish, now you may have some challenges with mercury. So I'm going to talk about a plant-based option for you all to get that. But so you understand the point, like omegas are important for your cells to behave, and we're going to talk about and give you all some ideas of, or hear from others how omegas have supported them. And then let me just share some common mistakes that people make when it comes to omegas. And one of them is just like not getting enough, because sometimes we don't realize how critical and important that they are. Omegas support your heart. That's so there's the heart month part of it, and that's why we're talking about it now. It supports your brain, it supports your eyes as well as your skin and other parts of your body, but those are like the main things. Also helping to reduce inflammation. So there's pains and arthritis and all of that, and those omegas are really powerful for them. So you want to eat omega rich foods, and then supplementation is in so many cases recommended. So now here's some of the common mistakes before we hear from some other folks about their experience. So common mistakes is number one is that you're taking soft gels. That's how you see omegas in soft gels. And when they're in soft gels, the way they get them in the soft gels is it uses heat and oxygen to put it together, and then that can cause some rancidness, and that heat distorts the omegas. But that's usually how it's made in a soft gel. So now we take a plant-based omega supplement that the capsule or the casing is not a soft gel. It looks like that, but it's different in how it's made, and it's not heated, so it's not compromising the oil. So that's one of the common mistakes is people taking soft gels. Number two is that you're skimping on quality. I don't know how often, and I said I'm a nutritionist, people just go to the store and just pick up anything off the shelf. And when it comes to people think of fish oil mostly, you can't just do that. You got to really understand what you're getting, because it can go rancid, it can have mercury. There's a lot going on. And I don't want anybody listening to this particular call to be a victim of skimping on quality. And then third, this is important when you're taking the omega. People don't realize this. In a good way, it's a blood thinner because, and that's what helps with clots and with the heart. But then on the flip side, if you're taking a blood thinning medication, then you want to consult with your a doctor to make sure that there's no conflict going on. Does that make sense? So just know that omegas tend to be a blood thinner. All right. So those are some of the common mistakes. Now, I mentioned to you about supplementation, and we're going to talk about supplementation specifically with we're using all plant-based omegas. And we're just going to, when you're doing all plant-based, what we're doing is skipping the fish. So the fish eat the algae. So we're skipping the middle fish and we're going right to the source, which makes it so, so powerful in your body. And you're going to hear about that. So without that being, with next, I'm just going to introduce you to some folks and we're just going to hear what they've noticed by utilizing these plant-based omegas. They're just going to get right into it. So I want to come to Trish, Trish Hill. Tell us what have you noticed by taking plant-based omegas, the specific ones that we use? What do you know?
Well, first off, I should say I never was one to take any kind of omega before this one was introduced to us. So that was a revelation to me of what omegas and the power of omegas. And so when I started taking the omegas, I had been on the Juice Plus products for about 18 years by that time when the omegas were introduced. During the course of my adult life, I'd had some injuries, a compromised knee as a result. And so I had had a great deal of inflammation and kind of bone on bone in the no cartilage in one of my knees. As a result of that, I had been getting the cortisone shots in that knee and fluid, like 98 cc's of fluid and 78 cc's of fluid every 6 to 8 months drawn out of that knee. And as you can imagine, with that much fluid in there, that caused a lot of pain, very little range of motion. And so it really reduced the quality of my life. I started with the omegas, adding the omegas to the other three Juice Plus essentials. And within about 6 to 7 months after that, I noticed that I was not having that same kind of accumulation of fluid. More than that, it has now been more than 3 years since I've had to have any fluid drawn from that knee, that compromised knee. So that has been a game changer for me. And so I
Yeah.
call omegas part of my freedom strategy for being able to function well and do the things I want to do, walking, hiking, and things of that nature.
That's amazing. I mean, and it's a real deal. I mean, it's lubrication for our cells and for our inner workings of our body. And so that makes so much sense. Thank
Yes.
you so much.
Yeah. And, I have two daughters who are physical therapists. And one of the things one of them says is that emotion is lotion. And we need to move to get those joints lubricated even more as we age. And so being able to do that now with the help of the omegas as part of my freedom strategy has been excellent. I strap on my little knee brace. I have my omegas every day and I am good to
And
go.
good
I'm
to
good to
go.
go.
Wow. So there's so many of you all that I'm going to connect with today. So I'm moving a little faster than I normally do because there's a whole lot of you, because we just want to, get the stories out, and they're also different. So Lisa, you you had an experience with a burn, and I want you to share what happened. If you're there somewhere, right, Lisa? There you are. Maybe Lisa.
I, hey, sorry. Yes,
Hey.
I'm here. I couldn't unmute. Can you hear me okay?
Yes. What happened with this burn?
So yeah, I was cooking and went to the oven and burned my arm, and it was a 3rd-degree burn. And when you see, you hurt so bad you just kind of see stars. And as I was and I couldn't even hardly think. I'm like, what should I get? What should I get? And I immediately thought, omega, get that omega. So I have it in the kitchen drawer, and I already have it like in a little container with it's open, like I used a pin to open it, squeezed it on there, and y'all, I did it for that day, that night, several times that day. And not only did it not hurt, even though it bubbled up, it did not hurt. The only thing that hurt it was my purse when I had gone out and I had my purse on my shoulder and the strap fell and scraped it. Ah, that hurt. But that omega healed it up. It was wonderful. I was like, I used to use like unguentine. This was years ago. It's something called unguentine. I also used to use neosporin, polysporin kind of thing, but that was fabulous. And then also with a light, I have a light fixture and it has these little teeny bulbs. Well, I didn't realize that they were the bulbs that when you touch them, they burn. So my finger, I touched it, went to grab it, it turned sizzled and was white.
Oh no.
Again, I went and got the omega, and it was a weird spot and it was hard, on your hands to keep it. But I did. I kept the omega and kept applying it, and it healed faster than ever. And I used to take fish oil before, but it was never as good as
like this. Yeah. When I heard about your burn, I went and put it, my husband had a scar on his that was having a slow heal, and I went and put it on there just because you said that. I'm like, well, let me try it. So thank you for that. And so it helps with the skin, y'all. It just helps. It's giving our cells what it needs internally and then also topically. I feel like I don't want to rush, right? But there's so many of you guys. I want to make sure that I get to everybody because everybody's story is so different. Thank you so much, Lisa, for that. Arnold, you have a good heart. Yes. Go ahead, share.
Okay, so wow. So firstly, I just have to say that it's a blessing to be on here today. I just get nothing but gratitude. If you're seeing me right now, I didn't always look like I do right now. Okay, I used to weigh 217 pounds, and in 2020, I lost 63 pounds in 18 weeks. All right, so that was something that I pursued because I was at a place in my life where I wanted to take control of my health. But even though I lost that amount of weight, one of the primary things that I found that I was lacking at the time was fruits and vegetables. So I lost the weight, I started training. And as I started training, I started kind of diving into some different diets. You're probably familiar with keto. I was doing keto at the time. But eventually I came across somebody named Patrick Van Ducy in the gym, and he introduced me to Juice Plus. And so as I learned about Juice Plus, I was fascinated because I was actually interested in the vegan diet, but veganism can be expensive. I don't know if you've tried to look into that before, but if y'all been looking at the economy, we know that prices of goods and services right now are all-time high. So with that being said, Patrick introduced me to Juice Plus. I was blown away by the fruits and vegetable capsules, but he also recommended that I take the omegas, being a personal trainer, so I just took his word for it. And lo and behold, I started taking Juice Plus. This was like August of actually the latter part of July of 2021. I started taking Juice Plus for about 6 months. And then in about January or February of 2022, I got my blood work done. And this is what my doctor said to me. He said that your testosterone levels are great, your iron levels are great, and this is the part that is very powerful to me, especially being an African-American male. He said that the chances of you getting a cardiovascular disease is slim to none.
Oh, wow.
And that is just huge, huge, huge. So I give praise the Lord for that. But just thinking about the plant-based omegas, I really do see that that is significant because we have a study talking about the omega-3 index.
Yes.
If you have, and this is really between, I believe, is 1 and 12. If you're on the latter, if you're at the end part of that, where it's like 0 to 4, you're at a risk. If you're about 4 and 8, you're moderate. But if you're above 8, you have no risk at all. So what am I seeing with the omegas? They help reduce the chance of getting a cardiovascular disease.
That is like so powerful because as we talk about Black history, Black health, my prayer is that this gets into the right hands, right, of those who need to hear it. And I always just say this is a simple solution to a complex challenge. And I love the way you said you started with shifting your life. You started adding the fruits and vegetables, and you just made a shift. And I love that we're helping people do that. So thank you so much for coming on and spur the moment and sharing that very inspiring story. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much. Karen, what's your reality?
Ooh, God, these stories are so inspiring. Thanks, Robin. So I have worn glasses since the 5th grade, contact lenses since high school. And since I've gotten older now in my 60s, these were just readers. But about 2 or 3 years ago, I needed to have surgery on one of my eyes. I'm not going to get into all of it, but it was a macular hole. No, there was not a hole in the eye. We have this fluid behind the eye, this viscosity. It gets thinner and it can detach a little bit from it. It's not a detached retina, though, different part of the eye. So anyway, what happened is my vision was getting a little, distorted, if you will. I'm thinking, must be time to get another contact lens. So anyway, so I had this surgery and was fine. But then also, I don't know if it was months later or not, or the next year, I needed a cataract surgery. I said, oh, for the love of God, what is with this bionic eye? It's the same freaking eye. But I have 2 ophthalmologists. I always call one back of the eye, one in front of the eye. And so they're like, nope, this is kind of what happened. So anyway, so that eye is fine. But I'll tell you, I don't know if any of you are contact lens wearers, but I was experienced more dry eye, both of my eyes. To have to put the wetting drops in just, a couple times a day. And how many of you have ever driven on the highway at night? And do you ever notice a little halo sometimes around the street lights?
Mm-hmm.
I got to tell you, I know we don't make any health claims or medical claims, but I don't have those halos anymore since I added omegas to my fruit, vegetable, and berry capsules, which I've been eating now for almost 10 years.
Wow.
So I've noticed that difference. If I do use eye drops, I use fewer and fewer. And even my optician, not the 2 ophthalmologists, but, I was going regularly for the contact lens check. They're saying even after my surgeries, they're like, not the cataract eye, but, when I had that macular whole process surgery, she's like, your vision's pretty darn good. And so at night, I only wear anyway. So when I pop out my one contact lens at night, even though I have 2, you want to feel like you're making progress. Just one contact feels like it's progress. I have to remind myself, wait a minute, Karen, did you take that contact out? Because it's pretty clear in that other eye.
Yeah. Wow.
And lastly, my optician did say, oh, great, you're eating Juice Plus, you're eating the omegas, wonderful. She goes, Karen, your vision's probably going to improve.
Yeah.
That was unsolicited. So I will never not eat these.
As we get older, our vision is supposed to decrease. And you're right. My glasses that I'm wearing are actually like, I've had these glasses a long, long time because at some point they increased my prescription, and then adding the omegas, now my prescription was too strong. So now I went back to my old glasses. So like it is good stuff. Because I remind you all, it's giving ourselves what it needs, which it's so simple, but sometimes hard to grasp.
For sure.
So thank you. Michelle, I don't know that Michelle is on here. Michelle was going to share, and I was saying, Michelle, are you here? I don't think she is. I don't see her, but maybe she is. Michelle. Okay. Because I was getting all these wonderful, like, oh my gosh, I have a story. So I had all these omega stories, and I'm like, oh my gosh, we could be on here for hours and hours and hours. And so I said, well, let me just get a few. But there's another story that I wanted. It's a secondhand story, but I like the story. But I was saying, so Adrian Hicks is who introduced me to the omegas. And I saw her and she just had a lot of spunk and a lot of energy. And I just wanted her, she actually introduced me to Juice Plus all in all, but I just wanted to know what she was doing. And as a nutritionist, I was thinking, I don't need this, I don't need that, I'm good. But no, I actually did. And so, but Adrienne has a story about her parents, and I just wanted her to share it because it just makes me laugh. So Adrienne, where are you on video? And so I said that we talked about the heart. This is Heart Month, so I'm touching that. We talked about a little bit love because it's Valentine's, and then I said it was Black History, Black Health. We had that, and so Adrienne is part of this, but she's a part of it because she introduced me to this wonderful nutrition. But I wanted her to share her story. So tell us, Adrienne, about your parents.
So my parents were in their 90s when Omegas came out. They've been taking Juice Plus since they were 75, and they were now in their 90s. And when Omegas came out, I kind of used them like a petri dish because they just took whatever we gave them. And my daughter was caregiving them, so she just added it to their diet. I'm trying to think when they came out, if I added it before that, but she was very consistent. And what we noticed with my dad, that his skin was better, enough that my brother, who noticed, he said, Dad's skin looks like it's not as thin as it had been. And then my mom, what happened, my mother was another kind of a character, and she was very bored with life, so she would just do things to be kind of rude and annoying, which she knew she was doing. But when we gave her the Omegas, she got clear, her head got clear, and her episodes, like, she would be more annoying. So we took it away from her because
she got sharper.
She got sharper. I mean, she was so funny, but she was, yeah, so she didn't notice. But my dad really wanted to live to be 105. My mother didn't care so much. So it was pretty funny, but she just, yeah, she got more alert and more sharp. And so we took her off them. It wasn't a good thing. So
that is, I mean, that I just love that story. And Michelle, she's coming on, but I love that story. It's like her brain got sharper and she got even more clever and menacing. And you guys are like, no, get her off of those. she's we need her to be subdued a little bit. That is hilarious. So thank you for sharing that. And then we have a baby, our grandbaby. I say our grandbaby, but so Amber, hi. And he takes the Omegas as a baby. So it's not just us grown folks, but tell us, Amber, if you can, about the Omegas and Rowan.
So he's saying Ingas, that's Omega. He sees the capsules and he gets really excited. So I've been watching him
Okay. Oh,
since he was about 7 months old.
uh-huh.
And I just poke a hole in it and then just
He does. Oh no, you poked it or
I poke a hole in it.
uh-huh.
And just squeeze it into his mouth. And now that he has front teeth, he kind of he gets it out of there. And he loves his Omegas, or his Ingas as he calls them. And
Right.
okay. And then so he had surgery when he was 11 months old last July, and he had surgery right here, and they said that he was going to have a pink line for at least a year there, and you can see where the incision was, but it's pretty much skin colored, and every once in a while, sometimes I'll just put some of the Omegas on that over that scar for a little bit, and then I end up wiping it off after a little while just because he gets stuff everywhere. But I'm pretty sure the Omegas has helped his healing.
he wants more.
And I'm sure it helps his brain function. He's extremely smart. I mean, I think part of that is the Omegas also.
And it does. It helps with brain health. And he's like, give me my Omegas. And just so y'all know, anybody that's listening, nobody's gonna chew some fish oil pills. So this is all plant-based. It's so powerful. And yeah, how sweet is that? Like, that's the perfect visualization.
You want to say thank you to Mom? Want to say thank you? Can you say thank you?
Thank you. So he's super. I know he wants more. Thank you so much, Amber and Adrienne, and Michelle is here, so we're gonna hear from Michelle and her Omega.
I was gonna say, if we had started my grandma maybe 2 years earlier on the Omegas, it would have been a good thing. But at the point where she was, it was if we had a couple more years or a couple years earlier, I think it would have been a good thing for her. But at 98, it was not, or 97, not a good time to start.
Yeah, she was like a jokester. Like she was like
Yeah.
she was just funny, so funny. And so you said she got even more annoying. That is just hilarious. So thank you, Rowan. And then Michelle, Michelle. So share your Omega journey and story.
Yeah, I started taking the Omegas about, man, it's been 7 years maybe, whenever
Wow.
they rolled out. And the one area I really noticed was every year after starting on the Omegas, my vision improved because I wear contacts. So every year I have to go get my annual test because I need a renewal of lenses. And so much so, last year when I went to go get my eyes checked, my vision was better than when I first started wearing glasses in high school. Mind
Wow.
you, guys, I'm 47 years old. So
Right.
I'm getting older. My vision's improved. I've been on Juice Plus for over 12 years, and I will say there were slight improvements when I was taking Juice Plus, but when I took the Omegas, it was just like reversing every year. My vision improved. Like even the optometrist would be like, "Oh, you gone down." Okay. Like it was so funny. I was
Yeah.
wondering, why didn't they ask me how my vision is getting better every year instead of worse? Because everyone told me when I was turning 40 that my vision was going to get worse. I'm going to need readers. I don't use readers yet. I don't know when I will, but I will say those Omegas have worked magic with my eyesight.
With your eyesight. Thank you so much. We um oh, you want to come in? You want to show them your hand? I was telling everybody that I put Omegas on your hand. You don't want to show them? Okay. So I think that it's just phenomenal what it does. We talked about having added it to having taken Juice Plus. So some people that are not here are listening to the recording and they're already taking the Juice Plus fruits and vegetables. And then the Omegas is the next step. If you're not taking the Omegas, then consider adding them to your routine. And just to be sure to contact the person that invited you here so they can talk with you more about the Omegas and just how to get them. And it's worth a try. I always just say, what if? It's having, there's just nothing about having health and investing in your health is just, it's just everything. As Trish was saying, her quality of life, being able to walk around and do all those things. I mean, it's so simple, you guys. It's so simple. So before we close it out, this is like my favorite thing. So I was waiting all day to have my Omegas because I love to chew them. And there's a few of us, and Rowan is a part of this, but that will just chew them. A lot of people, they're the capsules, not a soft gel though. It's not a soft gel, but most people swallow them. But it was my favorite thing to do in life. One of my favorite things to do is to chew them. Oh my gosh. Like I literally did not take them all day just so I could get on here and show you guys that they can be chewed and you just get the oil out. I love the pop and no fish, no fishy burp. It's all plants. So good. So contact the person that invited you here and get these Omegas into your life. You can add them to your Juice Plus that you already have. There are people that take the Omegas by themselves. Now everybody's saying they chew them, right? These people think I was crazy for chewing them, but they're just wonderful. So add it to what you already have, or if you don't have any of it for whatever reason, then you can do the Omegas as a standalone. Some people do. We always recommend making sure you get the fruits and vegetables as well. But you can figure out what is best for you. Contact the person that invited you here, and they're gonna help you with the Omega. So the Omegas are good for your heart, your brain, your skin, your eyes. It's Heart Month. It is Valentine's Month, so love on your heart. It is Black History Month, Black Health, so love on the Black people that you know in your life. Yes, love, love, love. And contact your person that invited you here. And that's a wrap. Thank you guys. Thank you so much.